Hey, hello everybody. So today I will be talking about how we can orchestrate Big IP Next in a private data center using Terraform Cloud and GitHub. So we have on the left side, you can see we have Big IP Next Central Manager, which manages the Big IP Next instances in a private data center. We also have a agent, which is the Terraform Cloud agent, talks to the Terraform Cloud. Since this is a private DC data center, we want to use agent so that it can take instruction from Terraform Cloud, deploy the configuration using Terraform. We have on the right GitHub. So our Big IP Next configuration, AS3 configs are in the GitHub. So ideally, what we'll be doing is the developer will typically update the code on the GitHub. As soon as he updates the code, this will trigger the Terraform Cloud in turn, which will deploy the configuration onto the Big IP Next. Whenever there is a code commit on the GitHub, that will trigger the Terraform workflow. So, for example, if you are updating the pool members or adding pool members or adding new application objects, so those you can update on the GitHub, and that way you manage all the configuration centrally on the GitHub itself. The GitHub can be in a private data set, can be a private repository, or it could be a public repository as well, right? So that's pretty much it is. And Terraform Cloud uses a Terraform agent to talk to the private data center. We'll see that how works in a demonstration. Let's look at the demo. So now if you see, I'm on the central manager. There are various options on the central manager. Here you can see that you have manage users, manage instances. If you click on manage instances here, you will see that I'm managing one instance of Next. This is the instance. This is the IP for that. So now in order to deploy application, typically you go into the manage application and then you deploy the applications, right? Yeah, you can start adding applications here. But in our case, we're going to deploy through Terraform Cloud, or we have this particular repository which is dynamically created. So this repository has the AS3 code to configure the virtual server and add pool member, right? So this is the virtual server and this is the pool member, and it's a Nginx which is running. So we're going to provision this particular or configure this particular virtual server. Now, app.tf is the way provider. So basically, TF is the Terraform configuration here. And you can see that this is using the Next provider, Big IP Next provider. The organization is this. Now, this is organization in the Terraform Cloud. And this workspace we are using, right? And the resource to provision the AS3 is this resource. Big IP Next CM AS3 deploy. So basically, it talks directly to the central manager. It doesn't talk to the instance directly. It basically deploys configuration on the an API call to the central manager, and the target is this is the instance where this configuration will be deployed. Right. That's how the TF configuration, Terraform Cloud configuration is created. So you can add more apps here just by, using more resources here, right? So now if you look at the organization, we are using this organization, which is ZLMV student. And that's where the configuration also have workspace information as well as the organization information here. So what we need to do is now we have to make sure that our agent is working, right? So remember we talked about the agent is used to talk externally to the Terraform Cloud, right? And agent is the Terraform Cloud agent. And since everything here actually on the Big IP Next is deployed in the private data center, so we want that agent to communicate externally to get instruction from the Terraform Cloud to configure all the infrastructure as well as to configure the application on the Big IP Next. Right. In order to do that, we have to go to the organization here and make sure that we are on the, make sure that our agent is running, right? So here, if you go agents, you will see that next dash pool is our agent. So we need to use the token of the agent to configure. Basically, we need to configure this token, create a new token and configure that token into the agent VM. And that's what we're going to do. So I'll do new agent here. So we'll say next agent and create the token, right? So now our token is here and we're going to use this command, this Docker run to create the agent, right? With the agent token and then agent name. So you can have hundreds of agents running. So they can talk to the Terraform Cloud, right? So currently we just have one agent. I'm going to copy this and then deploy, basically do a Docker run on the agent. So let's go to the agent. So here I'm on the agent, which is in my private data center. So I'm going to do this and make sure that my token, right? So I need to make sure I have the token configured properly. So I'll do equal to and then pick up the token from there. So let's copy this token and I can cut and paste this token here. And also we need to make sure that we have the agent name specified. I'm going to do next pool is my agent or next. Okay, so my agent is running now and you can see that it is also registered to the HCP Terraform, right? So this is working fine. So now let's go back to where we were. So here, now I can go and click on agent. I can see that my agent is got the IP address and it's working and it's talking to the Terraform Cloud. So we are done pretty much here. So now let's look at workspace here. So now if I go back to the organization, go back to the workspace, I should see something going on here, right? Okay, so we don't have anything here because we didn't set up version control, which is our version control is our GitHub repository. So we need to set that up so that, you know, like any changes in the GitHub will trigger this Terraform Cloud. It will trigger Terraform Cloud workflow, right? So we, in order to do that, we connect to the version and there are various options. So we're going to use this option because we are using GitHub here. So we are not using GitHub apps. So connect to a different VCS and then I can make sure I use this custom because we are not using app, we are not using enterprise. So I'm going to select this. So one of the things is actually we have to have here is to register GitHub. So I'm going to click here, basically register the application and you can see that it gave me the client ID. So I'm going to use this client ID, copy this and go back to the Terraform Cloud and make sure that I enter this. And now I need secret, right? So go back here and then you can see here, you can generate a new secret. I'm going to create a secret here. So it's asking me my authentication code. So I'm going to use password and then confirm and then I'll get the secret, right? So I'm going to copy this secret, go back to the client and enter the client secret, right? So I'm going to connect this now and you can see that now this is my organization, FIBDSCS. I'm going to authorize this. So now you can see that I got successfully connected to GitHub through Terraform Cloud. So I'm just going to skip this. It's not required right now. And then you can see that Terraform Cloud pulled all the repository under my organization, right? And we know that this is the one which has all the Terraform information. So I'm going to click that, select that, and make sure that whenever I automatic speculative plan, whenever there is a pull request on my GitHub, right? So I'm going to set that up. And that's pretty much it. Actually, we have already connected GitHub as a CI/CD pipeline. So now if you go here and go to the workspace, you can see that the plan has been queued. That means whatever is the configuration here will be deployed on to the from GitHub. It will take that information and trigger a Terraform workflow, right? So now you see that it's planned. So I'm gonna do C details here, and then you can see that it is waiting for me to confirm, right? So this can be, you can basically create a workflow where it can be authorized by another person who has an authority to approve that. I'm gonna say approve this, approved, and then confirm that plan. Right now, so it's running this. Eventually, it will apply, but what it's gonna do is actually create the app on my big IP next instance. Right? Let's see, it's applying yet. So looks like it's creating. Looks like it has already created. Now, if I go back here, I need to refresh. I'm going to go back and see what's going on here. And you can see that my app has been deployed. So if I go and click on the app, you can see that the member has been added. And if I do view, you can see it's there. Okay, so let me edit here. And then you can see that my app has been added. Looks like I did one mistake. Actually, if you look at my server port is 8080. It should be 80 because I'm running nginx on 80 port. I'm just going to go ahead and exit from here. And I'm sure it should crib. Oh, let me try to, okay, here, right? Yeah, see, now you can see that I got an alert saying that it's critical. And if I click here, it says on this one that it's giving me error, right? And the error, let me see here, error is the endpoint is down, right? So that means it's not, that application is not able to reach because my port is wrong. So now, how do I fix that problem? Again, what we have to do is go to GitHub, and we know that the problem is in this JSON, and I need to fix this problem, right? So I need to change this port. And once I change this port, I should be able to communicate back, right? So without any errors. So I just change this port, and I'm committing those changes. Let's commit that changes directly. Practically, you won't be doing this committing directly. You will have like a couple of collaborators, and they will be having their own branches, and eventually that will be committed into the main branch, right? So now, if you look here, again, if you go to the workspace, there should be, so if I go here and did I commit? Yeah, I did commit. Okay. So I updated the JSON, and now if I go back to the workspace, you can see that I got the changes here. So Terraform got triggered, and if I do see details here, you can see it's still coming up. So plan is running. You can see that the workflow has been automatically initiated through triggered from Terraform Cloud. And you can also see that I just changed from 8080 to 80. So I'm going to confirm and apply here, approved, and confirm the plan. And this should typically deploy the changes onto my central manager, right? So now if you see here, it's still I have that alert going on. Let's look at the run. Here, it's still applying. The changes have not been posted yet. So looks like now it has already changed. Run is confirmed. If I go back here, let's look here. Yeah, so this error should go away, right? Eventually. So let's clear the alerts. So you can click here and see that, okay, no alerts now. If I go back, I got the green light here, and there are no critical alerts. So if I go here, refresh the screen, I should get good here, right? So I'm good actually. So there are no alerts. The application is running fine. I can go ahead and basically 1.10.101, 102, right? and port is 8080. So you can see that my backend application is responding fine. So basically we saw that how we can add applications or nodes, right? Like for example, you want to add another node here. You can just go ahead and update the JSON here, add another node server address here, right? And you can scale that way, and you can deploy without making a lot of login into the system, right? So basically through Terraform Cloud, you can manage other infrastructure as well as your central manager, right? Like if I go now into central manager here and go to instance, and I can go and check on this guy here, you can see that this is my instance. 10.1.1.10 is my management IP, and yeah, so everything is working fine. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for listening.